The views and opinions expressed by this host and its guest do not necessarily state or reflect those of Tamara's Productions, Tamara's TV network, and or its advertisers. Viewer discretion is advised.
The streets are talking. Yeah, the streets are talking. Yeah, the streets are talking.
How you doing? Welcome to Street Talk with me, Charles. I got my guest is the Honorable Judge Joe Brown. How you doing, Joe?
All right, young man. The judge is in the house.
Yes, sir. So I just good to see you again, a friend. Glad to have you on Street Talk. Now, what are you thinking about with this crime that's going on in Memphis, Tennessee? All this crime. What you think we need to do?
Not enough manhood in the neighborhood. Too many punks and sissies running around, don't know about their obligations, responsibility, and accountability.
Yeah.
Men should make where they live a better, safer, more secure place filled with economic prosperity, opportunity, morality, ethics, and sense of purpose. They should be dedicated to keeping the public peace, dignity, and order of their neighborhood and being brave and courageous when necessary, men of peace otherwise. But we don't have that because we have too many sissified punks running around with no manhood. Man up, young people. Take care of your neighborhood and make it a better place. That's your responsibility.
Yeah. You got a point there, Judge. What are you thinking about? You're not thinking about running for DA or
No.
No. So what are you
beyond that?
Yeah.
Some people came to me and said, "We want to recruit you, Judge." I said, "What for?" They said, "We want you to run for mayor." I said, "Okay, city or county?" They said, "City." I said, "Okay, JJB in 23, Memphis, Tennessee."
Okay.
Here we go. This place, see, Memphis ought to be the Chicago for the 21st century. It's all about geographic location. And the main valley that carries I-40 runs across the Mississippi River right here. It's going nowhere for the next few million years. But we have had a long history of little small level corruption, large level corruption, and all the money gets used up for non-essential purposes and making a select few people rich while everybody else falls by the wayside. There is nothing that's been done for the middle class in here, this area, black, white, brown, red, yellow. We have two cities. We have one which is one of the most affluent in the country, and the other is one of the most poverty-stricken in the country.
Yeah.
And as long as you've got that mix, you've got poison, because nobody gets anywhere as long as somebody's on the bottom, and other people, they have good things that come to them, but they're always worried about somebody driving over to the other side of town and taking it away.
Yeah.
Now, we have this problem here that we can deal with if we get on our jobs.
Yeah.
And instead of worrying about $15 an hour minimum wage, we're talking about, well, should it be $27.18 an hour or $72.14 an hour?
Yeah.
There is this thing in Europe where they're trying to get away from shipping to the East Coast, New York, New Jersey, Boston, Baltimore, and such places. And they want to ship directly to the distribution center of the country. They load barges up in Europe, they put them on ocean-going barge transports, they come to the port of New Orleans, they drop the hatch, get a tow, come up here to Memphis, and at President's Island, which is the world's largest barge unloading facility, they unload, and that's where everything's run through customs. But for some unknown reason, some people want to block that because I guess they don't want this city to be as big as it could be. Now, we don't have a smog inversion layer, and that means where you can ship from, and this is the distribution center of the continent, you can also manufacture. Now, energy. We have unlimited potential for unlimited clean energy. Instead of worrying about building a dam across some river, we've got the mighty Mississippi, and it's not going anywhere for a few million years, so we sink some hydroelectric turbines down in that river, put some baffles to keep giant catfish from getting sucked up in the rotors, and we've got unlimited free green energy, and we can make this place happen. We need to get away from the corruption that has poisoned our city.
Yes, sir.
We need to start having city planning. We need to start getting
Yes,
some
sir.
direction in this place.
Yes,
We
sir.
need some executive function that is going to run this place like it ought to be.
Yes, sir.
We need to have civilian control of the police
Yes, sir.
department,
Yes,
not
sir. Yes, sir.
civilian
I agree. Yes,
oversight.
sir.
And I have
Yes,
a
sir.
model I've been working on where we could turn it into sort of a Pentagon situation. You have
Yeah.
civilian Secretary of Defense, Secretary of the
Yes, sir.
Army, Navy, so on. We need to have revitalize the
Yeah.
Director of Police as the civilian head under the mayor.
Yes.
On top of that, we need
Yes, sir.
civilian sub-directors over homicides,
Yes, sir.
sex crimes,
I agree.
uniform patrol, traffic,
I agree.
so that the direction can't be set,
I
the
agree.
strategic efforts are coordinated,
I
the
agree.
tactical methodology is there.
I
We need
agree.
some block captains.
I agree.
We need to go out and recruit some of the
Yes, sir.
young folk who are on the borderline between being leader and thug, and we
Yeah.
need to get them
Yes, sir.
involved in
I
a
agree.
project, a manly project
Yes, sir.
of making where
Yes,
they
sir.
live a better place.
Absolutely.
We can do something. We need to get back into
Absolutely.
controlling the educational system for
Absolutely.
the mass of the Memphians around here. We need to take control, and since it's a unique little beast in Tennessee, it's called City and County Juvenile Court. And we need to reimpose the majority of the people that make up patrons and the victims of that juvenile justice center down there, and we need to get the city to start giving some oversight. The other thing too, why do we have to take all of these juveniles down there to that privatized money-making operation
Yeah.
that attempts to corrupt them so that they will continue to come back and give more criminality to these streets instead of peace and prosperity? And why can't we have the police, instead of immediately rushing some juvenile down there, holding off on it, having a contract between the parents and the child and the police department, counseling these youth for 6 weeks, 6 months, a whole year, start getting them into vocational slots so they can get something to earn a living, and then at the end of it, just don't file the charges. You see, these things can be done, and there are all kinds of innovative ideas we can come up with, but we don't think that way. What we have is a cesspool that is generated this way. There's the big five. They're in the real estate acquisition, management, development. Then they go down and they bribe some members of the city council to give them zoning variances. The city council takes consultant fees, and what happens after that is the city pays for the structures to be built, the city pays for the materials, and then for $1 up front and a small percentage of the net, we let people operate this exclusively at taxpayers' expense and rake in all the gravy. And then, of course, when you have creative accounting, it's always zeroed out, so we get nothing out of it.
Yeah.
So things have to be done.
Yeah. So, Chuck, let me say this. So, as you've been, I know you said running for mayor, so what are your plans if you're running for the mayor for 2023? If you win mayor, what things you gonna do and change if you're the city mayor?
I just told you.
Yeah, you do all the things you do.
Everything, and I've got a plan mapped out.
Yeah.
See, one thing too, we have to make sure that for this 2022 county and state election cycle, they use the new voting machines.
Yes, sir.
See, 2004, 6, and 8, the Justice Department came in. They came in again and again under 3 different presidential administrations, and they
Yes, sir.
said there has not been a fair election in Shelby County since 2000.
Yes, sir.
Those machines are operated with Windows 2000. They have no firewall, no security system. There's no way to update them. And in 2008, the Justice Department put up enough money to replace all of the machines. All that was required was for the county commission to say, okay, we pass a simple resolution to replace them. Well, instead of getting that done, we always had at least 3 holdouts, black, and Democratic who voted against that. So recently, there was a lot of talk behind the scenes about the Justice Department coming in and suing some people individually if they didn't buy the machines. So they bought the machines, but guess what? They've been sitting in a warehouse for the last 4 election cycles, and we've been using the corrupt machines. Now that's just inexcusable. Another point that needs to be brought up and emphasized is before these machines are used, there must be a compliance with the state law wherein those machines are tested to see if they're accurate and they're not hacked. Now, we've never done that, and it's time we came into compliance with the law so the people in this town, this county, this city, and in these suburbs can have a fair election instead of somebody making a selection.
I agree. Amen to that.
Now, that said,
Yeah. I agree.
good day, it's a great day.
Now I agree to that, Judge. And what we need is somebody like you, strong, in a seat like that, can really change and implement. You know, like the machine just sitting there. Somebody like you said, man up and go in there and make sure it get done.
Make 'em work.
Everybody sitting around and just what happened. And Judge, let me say something. Thank you all that's watching on Street Talk and all over Mississippi, Arkansas on YouTube. But Judge, you got a point. We got our city council member sitting around allowing this stuff to go on. We got our commissioner doing the same thing going on with the good old boy system, like the pipeline. You got the oil. You got Deja Malone. She's pushing it, trying to make us like Flint, Michigan, the oil. And if the oil get in our water, we're going to be just like Michigan. What you think about
How
that?
about some of the city councilmen talking about they got consultant fees? Like the devil, that's your job to research this stuff, not consult for an oil pipeline operation. And how many folk in Memphis are going to get jobs as a result? 0. How many of them are going to be involved in the operation? 0. How much of that energy is going to go here? 0. And then another thing, Memphis Light, Gas, and Water signed a new contract with a new energy provider besides TVA, and it looks like the prices for energy are going to go up a bit. So who's responsible for that? Well, we know because some people have been exposed, but still they get selected rather than elected, I suspect. So we need to clean this whole place up so this can be a decent city.
Amen. I agree to that. And you know, it's just, and Judge, you know, I'm so glad to have you, delighted to have you on here, because I'm so tired of they using our African American people, getting our vote. Shelby County predominant African American. We don't run nothing. We got to ask them for a job when we should be in control. It's backwards. And so I have to look at the city council member, I have to look at the commissioners, state legislators. They're not doing enough for our community.
No, they're not.
They're just getting a paycheck. And Judge, you're so right. You need to man up. I love when you said I got that off you. Man up. And that's go for the women too, because the Bible, man is the same as woman. So need to man up, mean women and men. Man up and quit selling your people out. Got potholes, blight out our community. Then you want to come to our church and get our votes. You want to shake and eat on Sundays. I'm tired of it, Judge. We got to get these people out of here. They don't care if they're African American, they're not doing for the people of God. And you're right. If they're not for us, we got to get them out of there. It don't matter about no color of skin, black or brown. If you're not doing like Joe Brown, the Judge Joe Brown, we don't need you. We need somebody like you, brother.
And another thing too, why in the world can't some of these potholes get filled? Why do we get out here on the freeways and we find there's a squad car with the engine running, the lights on, no cops sitting in there? You go 4 or 5 miles and you see 5 or 6 of these cars. What are they doing? Adding to the pollution in the county? Or are they doing anything? You see, this kind of senselessness is bad.
Yeah.
All right, you're running radar traps. Okay, you catch a few speeders, but you take patrolmen off of the beat, so that leaves the neighborhoods open to criminality. That's not supposed to be the case. That's dumb. You see, we have this other thing too. What is it that we have to do for anybody middle class to get any kind of agreement with this city to get employment? How many black contractors do we have to deal with the city of Memphis?
I don't know none.
How many white middle class ones do we have?
I don't know none.
All right? Why are we sitting up here with a situation where the Board of Education, the County Board of Education, the majority of the taxes that support that thing coming from the city of Memphis, have a situation where they have a legal department and then they hire out all of their legal work to private law firms or a law firm for which a large amount of money is acquired? What's going on with that? Do you have a legal department or do you not? If you got a legal department, why do you need to bring in a separate firm to handle routine legal work?
Exactly.
What's going on here?
Yeah.
And what kind of things are we doing with the teachers here? You've got Teach America in control of our young citizens.
What's the other one? Teacher of America,
Yeah, and you got a situation now where the teachers don't even need a 4-year degree. All they need is 2 years. So Teach America teaches them, they train them, they select them, they assign them, and they pay them.
Or they gotta pay a pass a prayer protest, some stuff. Some tests, man, it's ridiculous. No, and I want to say something, Judge, and you're so right, absolutely right. Half of these teachers is not in it like when you guys came up. They in it for the money. They come there trying to be pretty instead of teaching, educating people how to read and write and do the basic skills they need to have the tools in life. And so, Judge, you're so right. And Judge, I'm gonna say this, and you're so right. I can't get off these city council members. I don't know if you saw the news the other day. Montavious Jones, Jamila Swearton, and Edmund Ford Sr. They said they hadn't paid their property taxes, but they try to raise the taxes up in Memphis. Now, I don't understand, how could you want to raise taxes up in Memphis if these 3 city councilmen, if y'all ain't paid y'all taxes, Edmund Ford, Montavious Jones?
I asked him why he took a consultant fee from the oil pipeline folk.
Which one is this?
Emmett
Yeah, and
Ford.
and
And he went and told on the rest of them. We just got consultation fees.
Yeah.
Everybody did it.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Everybody did it. Yeah, and so, and then they talking about raising people light bills up. Taxes up on everybody. And so my thing, they said he owed taxes. Montavious Jones owed taxes. Also said Jamila Swearton owed tax on like 4 properties in Montavious. So what you think about that?
I think it's horrible. Here's something else too that needs to go in that pot. There are 28,000 untested rape kits. That's existed for the last 8 years. And nobody's done anything about it.
Yeah.
The city, for some reason, wants to pay for the county's rape test kits.
Yeah.
So why do we pay for the county when a lot of that came out of Millington, Arlington, Germantown, Collierville, and not Memphis? But aside from that, why is it that we have a contract for several $1 million with a New York firm who got an extension to test those kits for a number of years when TBI says they can come in, get it done quickly for free? Speaking of TBI, maybe TBI needs to be invited in here and do an investigation to see what's going on. I've seen some of the reports that they've come up with some of the things that people around this town have been concerned with. And it seems the DA's office is turning a blind eye to what's in those reports. Maybe we need to get a little bit of an impetus to kick it off so justice is the same on that side of town as it is on that side of town and that side of town and this side of town.
Exactly, I agree. I totally agree. It should be equal everywhere, no matter your skin color, or what background you from. We all bleed the same red, and we all came from the same person, Jesus Christ. So yeah, it shouldn't be no indifference. It should be the same. And so I'm just, I'm just glad to have you on, because I need a real man on here to tell it like it is. So a lot of people in Memphis, they want to, they weak, they don't want to tell the truth, they don't want to man up. And see, that's why a lot of people like you. Some people don't like because you tell the truth.
Well, that's it.
And that's all what it is. That's what it is, because you tell the truth. And that's why I like you, Judge Joe Brown, because you're a man of your word. You're a man with integrity, and you're classy, and you're gonna tell it like it is.
Thank you, young man.
And go ahead.
Thank you. Let me say this too. One thing that sticks in my craw. You've got a lot of thugs out there that are well armed. They built up their armaments over the decades, and they're not going to turn them in. They're not going to surrender them. They're not going to hide them. And the police can't do anything about protecting the citizens, yet we have some fools running around talking about we need to disarm the decent citizens.
Yeah.
They don't need to carry. Well, who else is going to protect you? And besides, I can tell you from being on the bench, and thank you very much for electing me to 2 8-year terms as a criminal court judge some years ago. It's been more than 20 some years back, but for the last time. But I'll say this, where the legitimate, decent, honest citizens are armed, crime goes down because the thugs are afraid to approach somebody. But where they know nobody but them is packing, then that just becomes a fish in a barrel situation. It is not cool. And we have to do something about these punked out, unmanly boys that don't know how to be a man. Men are about making their neighborhoods safer, not more dangerous.
Yeah, I agree with that, Judge.
And by the way, young folk, it's called K through 12, kindergarten through 12th grade. You do all right there, and every door in the rest of your life is unlocked. You may have to kick it all the way in, but it's unlocked. So pay attention. School is for you. Learn these magic books that they have. Learn the secrets so you can be a sorcerer and you can do the magic. There are a lot of things going on. Preachers, I want to set up an operation with you, the bunch of you. You need to take some of these collections you bring in, you need to start putting them in things like a church credit union where the congregation that you're supposed to be serving can go get loans and finance to do things. We have to be on top of this game. There's a lot of money that's out there that's just going nowhere. And I'm sorry, your wife may want a new fur coat, but in the name of somebody else needs to get that fur coat to open up a business so they can make enough to buy many fur coats, if that's what somebody's talking about.
Yeah, and you're so right. Yeah, you're so right. And Judge, you know, these pastors need to quit selling us out too. I'm gonna call it like it is, because I'm just street talk. I'm talking about what's going on the street. These pastors need to quit selling us out. I'm gonna start calling your names. I'm trying not to do it, Judge, but quit selling us out. You know, and I call y'all from North Memphis, South Memphis, East Memphis, Westwood. Y'all selling us out. You know, I'm so close to saying it on this show, but I'm gonna work close to campaign time 2022. Y'all gotta quit selling us out and then selling our people out for $1. Then you at church praying and for to Jesus when you holding your people down. So go ahead, Judge.
And one other thing too, we have to do something to bring rationality and common sense to some of these elections. Some of you I know want to put some things on your resume and you have these ego problems, but when you're 32, 35 years old, there's some offices you should not run for until you get experience in life, paying mortgages, having to be there for your children and everybody else that depends upon you day in, day out, no taking off, no sick leave, no nothing, because you had to grind it through to deal with those things that won't go away. And until you get those life experiences, you've got no business trying to run affairs for somebody else. By the way, let's get off of this ego mess. We lose too many opportunities because there's one office and we get 5, 6, 7, 8 folk in there.
Yes,
and
sir.
half of them have been paid to jump in to split the vote.
Exactly.
And you know who you are if you're out there doing it.
Exactly.
And we have some other people we need to expose. There are some people that have a voice around here because they have access to social media or even mainstream media,
Yeah.
but they're paid off and they're informants.
Yeah.
We have to expose those
Yeah,
people.
exactly. And you know, and like I said, Judge, probably not on this time, but you work on my show anytime, but I'm gonna start calling y'all pastors out. I'm gonna call your church out. I'm gonna call you. I called a couple of them on my last show, but I don't care about you getting mad because y'all saw me in Piccadilly eat. I'm gonna start calling y'all because all we gotta do, we gotta shame the devil. Because you saying you for the people of God on Sundays, and then you praying in front of shouting the Holy Ghost, but then you mistreating your people, ain't helping your people. You the one got your feet on your people neck. And then you want to holler about blaming on the white people, the white man, when you are the problem. Your own color is the problem. Crabs in the bucket. Like Judge, you said, everybody getting in the juvenile court race. You got 10 to 5 people want to run in the juvenile court race. It don't make any sense. You get the Republican have one person running and they support that one. Democrat, we got 10 people running for one way, then the votes are divided, then they mad, then they crossing each other out, then who win? Then the white man walk right in the middle and get the job. Go ahead, Judge.
Say something else too. Rainbow folk, you can do whatever you want to do in your bedroom. Get your freak on, enjoy yourself. But when you start trying to shove this down the throats of our children, that's too much. When you start insinuating yourself into the political realm, what you become is a political party, and you are as open to criticism and pushback as anybody else, Republican or Democrat. So we have to understand that there are some priorities that we must have, and we cannot go along dealing with a set of priorities that are focused on somebody getting their freak on, all right? We don't have any red, black, and green sidewalks or crosswalks, but we got a lot of them that are rainbows. You're getting what you're entitled to. It's your right to pursue it, but it's our right to push back. So fairness and justice prevail, but let's get rationality and reason, all right? We need to be effective. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. We need to get together and push this town into being the big city for the 21st century for the United States of America, where everybody living in this town gets a fair break. White, black, brown, red, yellow. I don't care.
And I agree, Judge. You know, I have to jump in on that. Yeah, and because this don't make any sense. Shelby County is predominantly African American, and we don't run the DA. We don't run nothing in the county. We're just not getting the seats now. In the past election, Judge, the last 4 years, we just got those seats with Janet Full and all them in that seat. But the thing is, we should have been having the seat all the time. But we've been sitting back letting the white people get the job, and then we asking them for a job for help when it should have been all the way around. They should be asking us.
That's right.
And so you need to man up. I'm telling you, pastors, if y'all don't do what y'all say y'all do, I promise you, I'm starting saying your name. Mount Vernon Baptist Church, I'm calling y'all churches out. I'm calling you out. I'm calling Golden Gate, I'm calling y'all out. I'm tired of y'all mistreating the black people and then coming in our face like y'all care about us, smiling at our face at church and when voting time. We need a real man like Judge Joe Brown in office, man up and be a man like him. And I respect you for the honest. Do I say yes, sir, to you? Because you're a king. A king needs to be on his throne. He needs to be in that mercy. And I want y'all to support him. Whatever he do, follow him on his Facebook, whatever he got. Because Judge Brown, we need a man like you. And that's why they get mad, because you talk. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Judge.
we need a village chieftain. We don't need an administrator. We need a village chieftain. And that's what we need to get this place going.
So, and I totally agree. And so, I mean, and I'm sick and tired of it that, you know, these pastors start calling y'all names out. I already called the city council names out, the commissioners that's selling us out, and these city council, state representative, Barbara Cooper and all y'all have to do better by the people of God. Y'all cannot keep coming in here faking and selling us out and let our people starving on the bridge, all this money with the blues and barbecue on Beale Street. We should have no people homeless. All this money we got here, like Judge said. But I'm gonna call y'all out, city council, commissioner, if y'all ain't doing nothing for the people of God. We need a man like Judge Joe Brown to run this city, to get it back right. That's why they ain't want him in the DA, because they knew he gonna go fix out a racket going on in juvenile court, and that's why they want him to get the seat. So I'm gonna just say it like it is, Judge. I can say they took it. They took it. Because, you know, they delete, and they can add on the computer.
Well,
so we're going to leave that at that.
Actually, we had an analysis done, and there were only 2 candidates, but there were 5 candidate numbers in the machines. 64,000 votes went to 3 non-existent candidates. But hey, be strong, we can do it. We just have to come together and be rational, logical, and reasonable about it. No emotion, just hardcore, what is in it for us? And we do that, we can make it. Let's make it happen. JJB and 23.
Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Judge, being on my show, Street Talks. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be on this show, gonna be on YouTube. We're gonna be on Comcast 31, 11:30 a.m., 11:30 a.m. every Saturday. My name is Charles Nelson, and this is the Honorable Judge Joe Brown. He's running for city mayor in 2023. Support him and everything he does. God bless and have a good day.
This has been a Tamara's Productions.